Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, wherever you are in the world. If you're joining me live or on the replay, give me a hello. Let me know whereabouts in the world you are, how your week is going. And this is for you. If you're sober curious, but you're moving more towards really giving this journey a go. You know, we're all at different places with this. Perhaps you are really sober serious now. You are ready. This, I feel, is going to be a bit of a feisty, tough love, gorgeous session, because sometimes we just need to hear the truth. And also, I just want to say that the Wellness Tree, this is the methodology I use with my own self on my own alcohol freedom journey, now sugar freedom journey, soul freedom journey, whatever you want to call it. I use that with myself. I live it, breathe it, work it daily, and I use it with my clients. But the beautiful thing about the Wellness Tree is that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It is a gorgeous structure. It's a blueprint for each individual person. So you can learn the outline of the Wellness Tree, which you do in this group. You can also come and join Strong Roots for a deeper dive. But you can take it and make it your own. Because what I know for sure is that it's not going to feel good. If it doesn't feel good, it's not going to work. And those soul goals that you have, they are yours to claim. No one else's journey is any of our business. We need to keep our blinkers on, keep putting one foot in front of the other. And this training today is for you. If you are really sick of the cycles and the broken promises, and there's no shame, no blame, no judgment, because I have been there. I know what it's like to have this habit of over drinking when you said you weren't going to drink, and how it ripple effects into those different life areas. And honestly, now is the time. It's always now is the time, but you know, what is the point in wasting any more of our precious time, our precious energy and money and effort and everything really on something that's not serving? So I want to talk today about how to quit drinking without trying to quit drinking. And the clue is in the word trying. That is the emphasis. So I'm going to give you today, hopefully you're going to have a massive breakthrough, because I'm going to invite you to see a different way of approaching your journey. I don't know what else you want to call it. I call it a journey, call it whatever you want, an adventure, a lifestyle change. It's all kind of wrapped up in the same thing. But it's actually a huge focus shift. And sometimes we can be so deeply in the pain, in the emotional pain of the problem, that we can't see a way around it and we can't see a way through. So the problem that I had, and that many of my clients struggle with, people usually find me when they are just struggling with grey area drinking, which is not alcoholic end of spectrum, rock bottom necessarily. Well, it's definitely not alcoholic end of spectrum where you would need to be medically detoxed. And it's also not now and again drinking, you know, a glass of wine now and again or whatever, and take it or leave it. But it's this grey area in the middle. And we can stop drinking, but it's staying stopped that's the problem. And this is the area that I work with and that the Wellness Tree supports us with. So I was struggling with years really in this cycle of endless day ones. Every Monday was a fresh new start. That's it, I'm quitting drinking, never drinking again. And then I'd get really wobbly, the wine witch was calling, I'd have a bad day, or I'd feel bored or tired or have FOMO, whatever. And it just felt like such hard work, really hard work, fighting with my brain all the time. And I was feeling like two different people. I was swinging between moderation and abstinence. I wanted to be able to moderate. That's the dream that we all want. Like, who really actually wants to give up drinking? Well, I did eventually, and most people come to this conclusion, but it's our own journey, and some people are able to moderate. It's unusual, and most people choose to go alcohol free because they make that decision and it gets rid of the thought and the problem of ever having to think about it. So I was swinging between moderation and abstinence for years, and I knew life would be better without alcohol, but I wasn't ready, and I was feeling like these two different people. And every time I tried to do some sober stretches, you know, a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2-3 months or whatever, I was hanging on and hoping I wouldn't drink, especially doing, like when I was in my really early days with not drinking, hoping I could make it through a week completely sober. And it felt very alien to me. I felt very exposed. I felt like a fish out of water. It was actually kind of a white knuckling strategy. There was a lot of fear, a lot of tension. I was grumpy, so grumpy with my poor husband. Very grumpy. Actually, he was my boyfriend back then at the time. I'd be, you know, reacting to everything. All of the all of the stuff came up, and huge fear of missing out, just feeling like, is this it? Like, life is no fun anymore. I really did think that life would be no fun without wine. And then time passed and I was swinging between these two places of trying not to drink, of not drinking, and just, it was exhausting. And finally, I got serious. I got really serious and I was done. And I love it when I have a DM and it says, Kath, I'm just done with this. I'm ready. Like, what can I do next? Give me some guidance. And I love that. And if that's you, please DM me, please connect, because I love to know, you know, where you are on your journey and how I can support you. So really, this is where I was ready to commit to really studying and understanding how to create on-track sober days. I was really determined to give it my all. And that's when I realised, okay, I need to take the focus off. Hang on, I'll come to that part in a second. I want to talk about something that kicked in after I made this decision, and that was when the cravings kicked in again. And this is an area where so many people get stuck on, with the cravings and how to handle them. You know, fresh starts, exciting, fresh, new, shiny starts, they feel good. We feel good about ourselves for making this great decision. And then the cravings hit, the wine witch voice whispers. It would be so easy to cave in and go buy that wine or the beer or whatever the thing is. And for me, it was always, you know, a basket full of junk food as well. It was never just wine, because I also had a binge eating thing going on ever since I was 5 years old. So there was a lot of loops and cycles that I was stuck in as well. And this voice would say, go on, you deserve a glass of wine. You've been really good all week. This is really difficult. Come on, you need, just one won't hurt. You can start again Monday. And this is the thing with grey area drinking. It rarely has this rock bottom. It's just this low level tug of stealing your joy. And it's, this one won't hurt. How often do we say that to ourselves? And not just about alcohol, but about food or about other choices and decisions that we're making. Just this one won't hurt. But it's the additions, it's the compounding of all of these just one won't hurts that really adds to this low level drain. And think of this energetically as this big, heavy kind of cloud around us. And this is the foggy heads, the low energy, the low moods, maybe gut issues, skin issues, inflammation, how we're thinking, the thoughts we think about ourselves, the stories we tell ourselves. And it's all of this, heavy, heavy energy. So I was stood in my kitchen one day with this huge craving, thinking, I could just go down the garage and buy some wine right now. It would just be so good. You can start Monday. Go on, this is hard. You're practicing. Just give yourself a break. Then I had this huge aha moment. And it was, if I'm going to make this work, I need to do this differently, because I recognized this moment where I would always give in, get in my car, go to the garage. It was 5 minutes down the road. It would be so easy. This is what we really struggle with, is the ease. It's so easy to press that effort button. It's so easy. Like, how many moments have we done this? Just recognizing this. And I realized in this moment, okay, this is interesting, because this is the point where I would cave in, quit, it's feeling hard, I'm fed up, I'm tired, I'm bored, like, stuff it. And I recognised that, and I thought, well, I'm just going to be stuck with this if I don't break it. It's down to me. I'm the only one who can break this pattern. And I can see that every time I get to this point, if I don't keep pushing through and keep going, even though it feels scary, even though it feels horrible, even though I don't really want to do it, I'm not going to break it if I don't practice it. And then in that moment, I realised, okay, I don't know the version of me that just keeps going. I only know the version of me that quits, that gives in to her excuses, that prioritises comfort over discomfort, and doesn't really want to step outside of her comfort zone. I knew that version of me really, really well, and she was making me really miserable. Really miserable. So, in that moment, I decided I'm going to be different. Oh, I can just remember it. It felt really scary, but also this wave of curiosity swept over me. And I started thinking about myself, the version of myself that I didn't actually know yet. And she was within me, although I thought she was a million miles away. But actually, as I went on my journey, I realised it's an uncovering. It's an uncovering. And I wanted to be that version of me that actually learns to think differently and learns to be differently. And I wanted to be that different version of me. And you know what? This new energy came over me. And I don't know if you've heard of this quote, but this quote comes to my mind right now. And there's two quotes actually. The first one was look a challenge right in the eye and give it a wink. And then the second one, the second quote that comes to me is, throw me to the wolves and I will return leading the pack. This just gives me chills remembering this, because it was in that moment, it was so funny. This moment in my kitchen, it was a normal weekend. Looking back, at that time I didn't really realise the power there, but looking back now I can see it. And I was handed this seed, this next breadcrumb stepping stone of, oh my gosh, I need to think and be differently. And this goes with everything in life. Every kind of thing that we want to create, every different version of ourselves, we have to learn to do this differently. And that was when I had this kind of huntress energy I tapped into. It was like this warrior huntress, sick of all the ways, sick of all the beliefs and the BS I'd been telling myself. And I was like, right, I'm bloody doing this. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter if I fail, if I keep wobbling, whatever. I'm determined to learn how to do this. And I decided, okay, I'm just going to fail forward. It might be really messy, it doesn't matter. One thing I knew is I was never, ever, 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 ever giving up. Ever, ever, don't ever, ever stop trying. Keep trying, no matter how many times you fall down. The actual most important piece is how quickly you get yourself back on track. No drama, just dust yourself off, shake yourself off, get back on track. This is the stuff I teach in Strong Roots. It is so important because that is part of the work. We don't want willpower, we want rewiring. We have to rewire our brains. We need to create a new brain, build a new brain. Teach your body that now we're doing this differently. It's about creating safety within the body. So we need to also be working with the nervous system with specific tools and resources for grey area drinkers. And I have these all in Strong Roots, in my reset, in my membership. If you want the details, pop me a PM. But here's something really powerful for you today, because what I realised, my massive breakthrough, even more of a breakthrough in that moment, was I had been putting alcohol on a pedestal. And that's what we do. We try not to drink. We have this big alcohol thing. It's all we're thinking about. It's all we're focusing on. I'm trying not to drink. White knuckling my way through. Can you feel how the energy is very tense? It's very heavy. When actually, guess what? Guess what? This journey, alcohol freedom, has nothing to do with alcohol. Right? And you're thinking, Kath, of course it has. I'm trying not to drink. Exactly. Exactly. And this is what the wellness tree showed me. We need to take alcohol off the pedestal, and instead we need to put your energy on the pedestal. Your energy, your way of being, your frequency, who you are showing up as, now goes on the pedestal, because that is the most important thing. Your energy is everything. How your life is, how you want to create your life, it's all designed around your energy, your frequency. This is priority now, protecting your peace. This is what the wellness tree does. It toe dips you, it steps you in, it guides you into a way of living that actually feels like paradise. And you might be thinking, paradise, that's a bit extreme. But listen, grey area drinking is living in a very grey world. It's grey, it's quite dark, it's not nice, it's not comfortable, but it's safe because it's what you're used to. But how about if you learn to live and think and be in a completely different way, and you learn how to be in your confidence without alcohol ruining the day and running the show? How about if you learn to build self-trust, you learn to build on-track days your way, whether you're drinking less, whether you're working towards none, and stretching into colourful, peaceful, freedom living, where you are showing up in your power. And that was anchored in your daily choices, the habits, the rituals, the things that spoke to your soul, that gave you energy. So when you move from sober curiosity to sober seriousness, you're actually going to come up against resistance. Now, what you need is a root structure. Having a root structure gives you safety within. We're building that foundation so you can plant these roots. You can understand why you want to do this. Even if you're taking a break from drinking, you're figuring things out. You're figuring, like, where does alcohol sit? How do I want my relationship with alcohol to look right now? But you need structure, you need tools, you need this root system to plug into daily. So where we have been plugging into alcohol as our root system, which it isn't, because you will feel uprooted, that's why you're here. We need to have somewhere for that plug to go. If we're removing it from alcohol, a dangly plug, we need to plug into something else. And that's the wellness tree with the root system. And so for me, I understood that, okay, I got my dangly plug, I want to plug into my root system. How do I do that? So the first thing I started to do was I needed a plan, I needed structure, but I needed some kind of model. I needed to find the people that were already doing this. So I started to study other sober women, and the ones that looked peaceful, confident, empowered, and they looked truly free. And I noticed that they weren't trying not to drink. They weren't really talking about alcohol much. They were just celebrating their milestones. But what they were doing, and I studied these because I was in other sober groups and things, they had habits, healthy habits, and they had rituals, daily rituals. And I developed my own. I brought in the nervous system tools because I also trained as a grey area drinking coach. They had a rooted way of living. And so freedom was coming from what they were building every day, not what they were resisting. And of course, the resistance shows up, but it's what we do with that. Do we feel that resistance? And do we retreat? And do we stay small? Or like a shoot of a plant that's trying to shoot up through the ground, it's going to feel that resistance of the earth, but it's not going to not grow. And our souls naturally want to grow. That's why if you feel the pull towards this, sober living, your soul won't let you not do it. right? But it's down to you. You can hear the knocks, you can hear the phone calls from your soul. You don't have to answer, but you can answer, and you can just work with that. Work with that resistance, right? Feel it, feel it, feel it, and go through. The only way is through, because a plant knows when it's gone through that, it's growing, it's pushing through that. It's like, I am going for this, and it's going to bloom, flowers, juicy fruit. This is exactly what the wellness tree does. But there's lots of different components, and that's why we have the root system to work with. It's about building the identity. The wellness tree is very, very rooted in identity, and it's about who you're becoming. It's not about what you've given up, and it's not about I'm not trying not to drink. It's about becoming a woman that really cares for herself, that nurtures herself forwards, and also understanding you're not giving anything up. In fact, it's the opposite. You're opening the door to receive so much more. Better health, more energy, great sleep, better relationship with yourself, better connection with others, calmer home, sanctuary living, colourful living, peace, presence, more money, more time, learning to relax, learning emotional sobriety, learning how to not react, learning emotional resilience. All of these things, just like the tree does, has to stand in the storms and bend and be flexible, right? It's about having a plan to follow that feels good, that allows some flexibility. Sometimes it's not no drinking at all. Sometimes it's actually, I'm not quite ready to let that go yet, but I need a plan. I need something to help me get to that place. And that's what Strong Roots does as well. Because it's not about not drinking. We've all got to start from somewhere. And sometimes it is about not drinking. Sometimes it's having that, but we get to make it feel good. So discomfort is where confidence is built. Sitting with that discomfort. When we stop drinking, we feel everything. We're living life raw. It feels uncomfortable. We feel vulnerable. But this is where having your journal, if you need support with this, professional support with anything that comes up for you, if there's traumas and things, get that support, get counselling, get therapy. There's so much available for us. I didn't have that. Maybe I needed to, but I was someone that actually, I've always loved a challenge, and my journal became my best friend. I literally journaled my way through everything. And then, it's also, as we go forwards, just building new skills, learning how to sober socialise, how to calm the nervous system, how to feel safe within, how to stretch that energetic container, how to find your edges and pull yourself back, how to find and create true fun instead of fake fun, instead of numbing out and not really being truly, authentically you. And so we need to replace things. As we've removed alcohol, we need to replace and re-nourish. So we put the drink down, and then we build a life that feels so nourishing that alcohol just no longer fits. Much of this in the beginning, in fact, it's a continual practice, but it's about letting go of what no longer serves. And I like to think of letting go, because sometimes that can feel really hard. And I like to think of it as moving away from. So what are we moving away from, and what are we moving into? Where are we removing ourselves, And where are we moving into? What new places, what new people? Having a tribe, having a community to support us, because this is such a personal journey. And it's a journey that most people won't do. But we need daily habits, we need simple rituals, we need support, structure, and above all, we need identity change. And one day, you'll realise you're not trying anymore. You're not trying anymore. You're actually simply just living differently. You're living differently. This is just what you do now. And this is what we need to practice right now, is living differently. So putting our energy on the pedestal, protecting our energy, and this is very much a feeling journey. And just noticing what's taking your energy, what doesn't feel good anymore, what things in your life feel draining, what do you need to say no to so that you can say yes to yourself, yes to your energy, yes to your peace, yes to your calm. So freedom isn't created by fighting alcohol. No, it's not created by fighting alcohol, fighting with your brain, white knuckling through it, hanging on and hoping. It's not created by resisting cravings. It's the opposite. Freedom is created by working with the resistance you feel, because it's a test. Resistance is a guide, it's a test. Your soul is the other side of the resistance, pulling you through, saying like, Kath, come on through, this is the way. And Kath would be saying, oh, don't know, it doesn't look safe, you know. Your brain will be fighting with you. This doesn't feel safe, this doesn't feel good, let's just stay here where we know it's familiar, even if it's not comfortable, even if you're fed up. Like today's message, seriously, for me too, we all need to wake up, keep waking up, keep remembering, practice awareness, asking ourselves daily, is this choice moving me towards the version of me that I truly, deeply, authentically am, that I want to be living as now? Or is it moving me further away? Is it moving me back into the version that I want to leave behind? So, if you're feeling ready, if you're feeling tired of excuses, of patterns, and if you're okay with messiness, imperfect action, and forward failure, because failure is feedback, it's how we grow, then I want to invite you to come and join Strong Roots. The ladies inside Strong Roots, it's my really small membership community. They are embracing the messiness. They haven't got it all figured out, and it's exactly perfect because it allows each woman to have the space, the safe space where she knows she can talk about challenges, she can share her wins, she can learn from the others, and she doesn't feel alone because she knows that we're all on this journey together. But also, we all have different nervous systems. Every nervous system is different, every soul is unique. But what we do need is structure. We need a root system to plug into. So in Strong Roots, we're working on the roots. We're working on creating that strong foundation. We're working on the different life areas. And it's simple. We have let me see what we have. We have a weekly group coaching session on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. UK. Everything is recorded. It doesn't matter if you can't make the lives, there's no pressure. Everything's recorded. We have a Google folder. We have a gorgeous, nurturing messenger chat where we share, we inspire, we check in, we have accountability, we're sharing our wins, we're sharing the challenges we're going through. It's really comforting, really nurturing, and so it's just so lovely to see the transformation that's happening there. And you have access to me on Messenger. I can help you with, specific things you're struggling to as well. I can give you little one-to-one support in Messenger. And, it's something we're building together. And the most amazing thing is I've kept it really affordable. So it's an ongoing membership. It's currently £38 a month. That's like literally the cost of the average bottle of wine per week. It's nothing. It's deliberately really affordable. You can cancel anytime. There's no tie-in. But I reckon if you come and get yourself over in there, you'll feel like it's coming home. If you'd love to give it a try, just pop the word roots in the comments. I'll send you the details, or private message me roots. I'll send you the details. You can have a read, see what you think, come join us, and really looking forward to supporting you on your journey. So if you've enjoyed this video, come back next week, same time, same place for another gorgeous training. Have an amazing rest of the week and the weekend. Thank you for joining me live on replay. Drop your ahas in the comments, anything that's come up for you, any wins, let's celebrate you. And let's see the ripple effect that if you take action on this video and the other videos in the guide section, if you take action and you create your on-track days, I want to hear about it. I want to celebrate you. So pop a post in the group. Let's know. Let's get to know one another. I'm so excited for you. Take care, gorgeous souls. See you again next week.